Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I'm Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you all are staying warm in this crazy weather that's happening right now. Probably in the background, you're probably hearing some woos because it's wind blowing through here. And I have no way of editing out that sound. So please forgive me for that. Bypass that for this video. But thank you all for joining me once again. What I want to talk about in this video is something that constantly is put before me, and it always reminds me that the Marxists are not going to give up trying to change the traditions and values that we as Americans embrace. And what I'm talking about is the Nashville Theater is supposed to be doing a play on the Wizard of Oz. And in this play, they have decided to hire a man to play the Wicked Witch. You heard that. They have decided to hire a man to play the Wicked Witch. Now, some people may say, well, that's not a big deal. It's all about acting. I don't believe that at one bit. And I'm going to show you why I don't believe that. I'm going to show you why because I'm going to read a portion of this article that's going to show you guys that this is all about being woke. It has nothing to do with picking the best actor for the role. Okay, so let's get right into this article. Let's get right into this. And it says there's this, and this is from Red State. So some of the phrasing in this particular article may be a little bit opinionated. So bear with that. You know, some of the phrasing may be a little opinionated, but I think it's a good article. And it starts off, there's a saying in the film world, 90% of directing is casting. The same surely applies to theater, and a Tennessee production house recently made a surprising move to end its search for the perfect ugly enchantress. The Nashville Children's Theater was founded in 1931, but despite being steeped in history, it's far from old-fashioned. Case in point, its current telling of Frank Baum's 1900 tale, The Wizard of Oz. For the role of the Wicked Witch of the West, is cast against type by selecting a man. Now, I'm gonna point something out right up front. Let me say this. The Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies of all time. Now, some people may think, you know, look at me looking at African American. It's like, man, you know, what about the Wiz? You get that kind of stuff. Look, I like the Wiz. I really did. I like the Wiz. I thought it was a very worthy component of whatever for the Wizard of Oz. I thought it was well made, well acted. I like Diana Ross' role in it. I like the other characters, Michael Jackson as a scarecrow and all that. I mean, the Wiz was awesome, man. I loved it. It was a big, lavish production. But for me personally, my favorite was the Wizard of Oz. And the Wizard of Oz was and is one of my favorite movies of all time. Anybody speak negative about the Wizard of Oz, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear no tainting or how the Wizard of Oz is connected to the New World Order or connected to mind control and all that. I don't want to. People have tried to tell me, but they've been like, man, you know what? Have you ever heard about this with the Wizard of Oz? I don't want to hear about it, man. I don't want to hear about it. And I'm one of the guys out there who is into trying to research. I'm all into so-called conspiracy theories, which a lot of them are not conspiracy theories, by the way. A lot of them have become conspiracy fact. But I'm all into that now, okay? I'm all into that. Was all into it then. I'm all into it now. But when you talk about the Wizard of Oz and try to connect that, I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Because the Wizard of Oz, for me personally, has a soft spot in my heart. And when I read this article, when I read about this idea of casting a male as the Wicked Witch, I'm like, no, this is ridiculous. I already knew, regardless of what the people's objective was, I already knew this is nothing but a woke revolutionary concept. And you can say what you want to say. I don't believe it at all. Not you guys. But the people that cast this, man, you can say what you want. They can say what they want to say. I don't believe it at all. It was all about being woke. But let's get more into this article. Let's get more into this. It says, as relayed by the Daily Wire, Executive Director Ernie Nolan explained the reasoning behind hiring actor James Rudolph. He says, we cast what we felt was the best actor in a role for our play. Man, come on. We asked someone who we thought could do a fantastic job. He's a fantastic actor, and we cast an actor in the role. Now that's kind of silly. Like I'm going to read the commentary of this, the writer of this article, because the commentary of the writer of this article said exactly what I was thinking. You couldn't find a female to fill this role? Come on, man. And the commentator says, the writer of this article comments and says, he must truly be extraordinary to have outwitched all uterus-bearing auditioners. The show surely benefits from such amazing ability. Even so, there was reportedly a bit of a stir during one of the performances. Now, here's what's interesting. During one of the performances, here's what's interesting. Listen to this. It says, homeschool mom Kelly Jude explained that the children around her in the audience, including her daughter, reacted immediately after actor James Rudolph appeared on stage for the first time. That's a man. That's a man, they shouted. Because they know the Wicked Witch is a female. So let's go on. Let's go on. I want to read something here that I think is interesting, that proves, once again, as I said in the introduction to this video, that proves that this is all about being woke and that this is a political move. This is a Marxist political move. It has nothing to do, in my opinion, based on my assessments of this information, has nothing to do with finding the best actor for the role. That's a bunch of nonsense. So let's go further into this. And it says, back to the Nashville Children's Theater. It's on the cutting political edge. On its vision and values page, there are 3 headings: our mission, our vision, our values, and Black Lives Matter. You put all of that, our mission, our vision, and our values, and Black Lives Matter? Are you serious? But let's read what this has to say. Let's read this. Nashville's Children's Theater grieves the senseless and unjust killing of George Floyd. Okay, it was senseless and unjust, true. It could be argued, but I ain't gonna get into all of that. It's not the place here right now. And countless others who lost their lives to unjust injustice and police brutality. Man, come on. Black Lives Matter. Let me say this real quick. The black community's problem, the problem is not police brutality. The black community's problem is black on black homicide rates and black on black crime. That's one of the black community's problems, and they know that's the truth. They know that's the truth. But let me read on. Black Lives Matter, and children need to be included in the conversation in order to make change in our theater and in the community. We recognize that we play a vital role in shaping the narrative through the stories we tell our young audiences. In our society, young people of color have been consistently underrepresented in content created for kids and families. While it is a key tenet of the mission and vision of the Nashville Children's Theater to represent diverse audiences and expose all children to transformational theatrical experiences and cultural literacy, we want our audience to be clear that we will redouble our efforts on our journey to lift up children of color. Now, that's all I'm going to read right there. You guys can read the rest of that article in the description box below. But first of all, let me say this. I think that's a whole bunch of hogwash, in my opinion. We want to lift up people of color. First of all, I don't think any of the people after the George Floyd incident happened, I don't think many of the people in that community were saying, you people here in Nashville need to make more black characters and bring black characters in this and put black characters. I really don't think that they were crying out for that. That's just, to me, a Marxist radical move to change things that we do here in America and we've been doing traditionally. That's how the Marxists change communities. That's one of the ways in which they change communities. Let me stretch it a little further. That's one of the ways in which communists, okay, change communities. What they do is they demonize everything that is traditional and they replace it with their new tradition. And these replacing of actors and that we've been knowing for decades and replacing them with the opposite sex and so forth is, as far as I'm concerned, a attempt to change everything. And this is, to me, a perfect example of that. A perfect example of trying to change up things that no one is asking for change from. I don't believe any of the, like I said, I don't believe any of the people in Nashville, or for anywhere for that matter, is sitting up saying, well, you know what? I want this. I'm so sick and tired of the Wizard of Oz not having any black people in it. No, the Wizard of Oz didn't have any black people in it. It didn't. If it did, they were covered up in makeup. I don't know nothing about it. But I didn't care about that. And perhaps Myriads of others of blacks didn't care about that either. And if they were thinking that, they really didn't voice it because they figured it wasn't important. We have, as I mentioned earlier in the introduction of this video, we have the Wiz. If you want to see someone black playing the same role, watch the Wiz. It's a high maintenance, big budget production of the same concept. Watch the Wiz. But don't try to take that, change it up. You know, it's just crazy. So this whole idea of using a male and replacing the male to play the role of the Wicked Witch of the West, to me, is not about, well, we picked the best actor. We wanted to pick the best actor. Man, come on. Come on. Come on, man. And the children watching this, they know. They know what this is all about. But like I said, if you guys read the rest of that article in the description box below, you see what I'm talking about. But the young people, the young children that watched that play, they knew exactly. It was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? That's crazy, man. Sorry about that. People, this wind is blowing like crazy out here. You know, you could probably hear it in the background. It's crazy, man. But the children know this. They're looking at this like, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? No one is asking for this. No one is really asking for this. When I'm on my job, I don't hear black people. 90% of the workers on my job, I'm going to even stretch it further than that. Let me stretch it further than that. 98%. I would even say 99% of the employees on my job at Tower City in the security where I work at is black. And you know what these black people come to me talking about when they do come to me talking about? They don't talk about changing up everything in the movies and switching it. They don't talk about that. If it's anything that has to do with race relations, they usually always tell me some of this stuff is just taken totally out of hand when they confront me with this. One of my co-workers said, he came to me some months ago and he was like, I would think, for one, I would think that he would have said something woke, because he voted for Biden. He's Democrat. He voted for Biden, you know. So it's like, okay, well, all right, fine, no problem. You know, it's like, well, we'll go ahead and put up with that. So no big deal. So he says, you know what, Mr. Bowling, you know Trump, you know what he says? He was an all right guy. And I chuckled and I was like, yeah, he was an all right guy. But he didn't come to me complaining about police brutality or any of that. That ain't what he didn't complain about that. He didn't complain about they need to put more white people, black people in this, black people. He didn't say anything about that. My point is that that's not what I'm experiencing and hearing from the black people that I work with. They're not talking about let's change up everything. Anything they're talking about changing up is changing up our own communities by ourselves. We need to change our own communities. And so I just wanted to say that this is another attempt of the communists trying to destroy things that we are used to traditionally. All of our traditions, things that we grew up with for decades, they're trying to change this. This is what they do in country after country after country after country after country, that they infiltrate. They try to destroy the traditions, okay, and then replace them with their traditional views and values. So I believe that that's what's happening in America. And in this attempt right here, to me, this is just nothing more than another attempt by the communists / Marxists / socialists trying to change what we traditionally believe in. But the young people know that. Young people know that they're not stupid. They're not stupid. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. God bless you all, and see you again.